tiles, all kinds of tiles. Let's take a look at Azul. Welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy, and today we're taking a look at Azul. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, click the button and subscribe, and we'll bring you video reviews about board games, and we'll give you our simple one-die rating. Should you buy it, play it, or hate it? Green means go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it and you wouldn't play it because you hate it. I want to tell you my rating on Azul and then spend the rest of this video telling you why I gave it that rating. Today, Azul gets a hands-down green rating from me. This is a definite buy it game. Now, in a lot of our video reviews, I play games a number of times before I get them to the table to do a review on. Azul is one that I got all of my reviews in, all of my play reviews over Christmas holiday, right? We got this game in, I took it to the family, and we played the game I don't know, a ton of times, at least 15 times we got to play this game before I'm doing this review today. So this is probably my most played game before a review, if that makes sense. We played this game a ton. Now it plays in about 30 minutes, especially when you're used to the game, so the games can go by pretty quickly. And that's one of the reasons that I think that you should buy this game, because it is almost addictive when you start playing this game and you get into it. And so because you can play multiples of this game in a short span of time, it's really fun. And so that's one reason why I gave it a green rating. The next reason are the components. The components on this are just incredibly nice. There's not a lot to the game, right? You just get these player boards that are a nice cardboard. There are these thick plastic tiles, and that's really about it. Some wooden point markers for each player board, and that's it. But the artwork, the aesthetics, the bag, you get this cool cloth bag with the Azul on it. I mean, they didn't have to do that, right? They could have just given you any kind of a drawstring bag, but they gave you a great looking drawstring bag, a nice insert. Plan B Games did a really good job on this as far as production goes. You're not going to be disappointed in the quality of what you get in this game. So I really like that. That's another reason I gave it a green. And then finally, the most important reason that I gave this game a green is just the gameplay is smooth and simple, and it rewards you. I guess is the only way that I can describe it, is as you play this game, I think that you get rewarded as the game goes along by seeing things come together. And so let's talk about how the game plays. In Azul, it's really simple. You have these tiles that are laid out onto the board on these little pools. And so you get to decide which pool you want to pull from. And you take all of the tiles of one color, and then you push whatever's left into the center. And as you're doing that, as the game progresses, as people are taking their tiles and pushing more tiles into the center, they're creating a new pool that you can now choose from. So now, if I wanted to take from the center, I follow the same rules. I'm going to draw all of one color and take it onto my board. If I'm the first person to take from the center, then I get the first player token, which is great. Next round I get to go first. The problem is I'm going to lose a point at the end of this round for doing that. And sometimes, most of the times for me, that's totally worth it to lose just 1 point to be able to have first choice on the next round. Regardless, when you take tiles off of one of these circles or from the center, you're going to find a place for it. There are 5 rows that you can place your tiles into. The rules are pretty simple. You can only place tiles of one color onto one line. So if I took more tiles than I could place on a turn, then whatever is left over falls down onto the floor. That tile is broken, and I lose points for that. So let's fast forward and just pretend like this is the end of one of my rounds. I look down on my rows and I look for any of the rows that have been completely filled. So this one is, so I move that over to the matching color. This blue one matches, so I'm going to move it over as well to its matching color and then discard the extra one. Move that one over because it matched, discard those. And then these 2 yellow, I didn't fill up that row, so those stay there until that row is filled up. I lose points for anything that has fallen on the floor, and then I score points. Scoring points is kind of very similar to Scrabble. You're going to count tiles that are vertical and horizontally connected. Any tile that is by itself is only 1 point, but now if it is horizontal and vertical, then you're going to score both ways. And you can kind of see my example here as I start to lay tiles out onto the board. Now, in this instance right here, I would score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so you get rewarded as the game goes on by kind of clumping your tiles together, because then you can score the vertical and horizontal points from that. And then at the end of the game, you're just going to score points if you have a full column that gets you 7 points. 2 points for every row that you've completed, and then 10 points if you are able to get 5 or all 5 tiles of one color onto the board. And you could do that multiple times and score that 10 points again and again. The game plays out over a certain number of rounds. Most of the time that's 5, because if you fill up a row, then the game is ending. That's how you trigger the end of the game, is once a row is full. And because the top row can be filled just by placing 1 tile there, that is most of the time how the game ends. But sometimes you could go an extra round, which is a lot of fun, because you could hurry, or if you go that extra round, then you could score a lot more points. But most of the time people don't want to give their opponents another opportunity to score points, and so the game ends usually after 5 rounds. It keeps it to that 30 minutes and is one of the reasons that I love. So what makes the gameplay so exciting? I've watched a number of video reviews about this game, and in every single one of them, I always thought, well, this looks kind of boring. There's not really much. Like, the end game pictures that people would post online were just of a few tiles over here, and it didn't look like it was that exciting. This is what makes it exciting to me. Is like, let's just say on this round that I had those 2 yellow tiles and I needed 2 more. Well, there's only one place on the board right now that I could get those 2. And so when your turn comes up to make a decision, you say, I could either take this tile over here that has the 3 red, and that fills up this whole row, or I could go ahead and take the 2 yellow that I need to complete this. But if I take the 2 yellow, somebody's definitely taking the 3 red, and that's not going to be there. And so you have to make that decision. The best decisions are when you're waiting on somebody in front of you, and you just hope, cross your fingers, you know, tell them to make the right decision and don't take what you need. And so that's just a lot of fun when it works out, and it's also kind of fun when it doesn't, because it's just the agony of playing a fun game. Now, there's also another way to play this game that people call hate drafting, and that is you are able to look around the board and see what people need. And so somebody could look across and see that I need those 2 yellow and take them from me just so that I don't get them. And a lot of times that actually works out, because maybe there's another spot on your board that you could play those 2 yellow and still score points. And so hate drafting is a real strategy in this one. With my in-laws and my wife, we don't really play a whole lot like that, but I know that some people do. And so that is something that if you're interested in, that could be a whole nother level of interesting gameplay for Azul. So hands down, like I said, we have played a ton of this game, and we will play a ton of this game. It's going to be one of those games that I purposefully leave behind from Family Game Day, because I know they're going to be asking about it a lot. Right now, I want to play it. I want to get it to the table, so I don't mind, but I know at some point this is going to be one of those, kind of like Code Names or something like that, where it just gets played and played and played all the time because it plays so good. So how does it compare 2 people to 3 people to 4 people? I haven't played with 3 people, so I'm no help there, but 2 people, the difference is you lose some of these tiles. I think it squeezes down to just 5, and now the decisions are really important, because now with it's just me and this person across the table from me, now every decision I make, they're going to make the other decision. And so it's this tighter feeling like the decisions are more important. But if you add in the other players, there's more tiles onto the board. That gives you more options, or maybe multiple options, so you could do this or you could do that. The problem is when I take my turn, they go, they go, they go, the chances of what I really want still being there, it just feels like it takes forever to get back to me. And I know it's not, because it's just a 4-player game, but the agony of waiting to see what's going to be left when it comes back to me, it's just enjoyable. And so I heard a lot of hype about this game, and I didn't believe it, but I wanted to buy the game just to see. and I'm so excited that I have this game in my collection. It's just a fun game. It's easy, laid back. People can understand the game quickly and just play. And to me, that is just the sign of almost like a classic. So anyways, that's my review of Azul, and you tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know if you played this or if you think the gameplay would be fun for you and your gaming group. Tell me down in the comments. And as always, support your local hobby shop, and we'll see you next time at the Board Game Closet. Oh, and I forgot about the Joker tiles. Now, this is probably my only critique of the game, is that these Joker tiles were not included in the main box. I had to go to Plan B's website and order these separately, which meant I had to pay extra shipping to get these in. And these are, in essence, wild tokens. So you can put these in the game and you take out the normal tiles, some of the normal tiles, and then you replace them with these. And what this does in the gameplay is it creates another option for you to choose, and it makes it easier for you to score on your rows. On a turn, let's say that I wanted to take all of 3 of these Joker tiles, I could, because that's the normal rule, take all of one color. But then if I wanted to, I could also take one other tile with it. And then when I place it down, it becomes one of those tiles. So now these 3 Joker tiles would make this a row of 4 red. Gameplay works that at the end of the game, any Joker tile that's moved over to this column can't count towards the 5 of one color. So you lose the ability to score 10 points in that one particular color. And I've heard a few people say they don't like that, about how it changes the end game scoring. We've played this a number of times with the Joker tiles, and I didn't think that it really affected it that much, because scoring 5 of one color is not always the easiest venture, and I've scored a whole lot more points by ignoring the 5 of one color than when I tried to get a whole bunch of one color. Anyway, so take that for what it is. So you do have to order these extra, and they do change the end game scoring just a little bit, but this is something extra and fun. And so hopefully on future print runs of this game, the Joker tiles should be included. Plan